Hey, I'm sitting here with my new friend, this cowboy right here. Could not remember his name until he said Bill. Like those things that come in the mail. I'll never forget your name, Bill.
Yeah.
That got me.
Yeah, my wife says, now Bill, and I say, don't bill me, baby. I'm broke. I can't afford to pay.
He's a hoot.
That or I tell her, hey, don't bill me. You're the one's got all the money.
He is definitely a cowboy.
Have been all my life.
I know it. And he's so mannered. Yes, ma'am, he'll say. This is Southern, but I love it. But you have a song that really, I mean, and you said it charted a long time ago, but Grace 100 Proof. That's amazing. I loved it. But I love your voice. I love your style. It's very country. And won't you just sing it? Can you sing a line or two or something?
Hey, just sing 2 phrases.
Bottles, barroom, old country dance tunes, it's true. What to say, nightlife ain't a good life, but it was mine. Place to hide in the darkness, held me so tight. Yeah,
He's good. He's good. And he loves the Lord with all
I
his
do
heart.
indeed.
You're an amazing man. Tell us where you live and what you're doing.
I live in Hilton, Oklahoma, and it's Healdton. You can't live in Hilton without being Hilton.
It's not like he.
There you go. So anyway, I live in Hilton, Oklahoma. Down close to the Red River, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
And I travel about, I'll get 65, 70 dates in a year. Most of the time I travel with full 5-piece band.
Yeah.
And we love to travel and sing, see people get saved, see people come forward for prayer, just whatever, you know. I did 7 years of jail ministry. I go into a county jail once a month, and man, I met some real musical inspiration while I was there. And I wrote some songs out of some of those stories, you know. But this Grace 100 Proof song, I'll tell you about it. The way I wrote this song was I was in a cowboy church, and this preacher got up after we'd sang, and he said this. He said, in spite of me, he saved my soul. And I thought, man, that needs to be in a song. And so I went home, and I sat down in my recliner, and I got my guitar, and I started writing. And I wrote this song, and it's about somebody in a bar room that gets saved, gives their heart and their life to Jesus. And the devil got on my shoulder, and he said, ain't nobody gonna like that, that's too worldly, that's too secular, nobody's gonna like it. And he even told me, he said, the people in your band ain't gonna like that song, you better not do that. And I played that song, or I sang it a cappella for them in the backseat of the pickup, going to play one night, and they said, man, I love that. I love that. And so it was a short time later we got invited to the church where my grandma went as a boy, and I would go with her. And it's a great old big church, seated about 2,500 people, big chandeliers, burgundy carpet, you know the kind, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, they ain't never going to invite us old hillbilly country people back here again. And I said, we'll just give them all we got. And I sang that song. When I come to that hook, I turned off the Jim Beam and turned on John 3:16. That preacher's down on the front row, and I heard him say, amen, above all that big old sound system and everything else. And I thought, man, we've got a song. And then I went to ICGMA, and I sang it with just me and a guitar. And Dan Duncan liked it. And I remember Chuck Hancock and James Payne sitting backstage when I come off stage from singing, and I don't remember which one of them was. One of them reached up, they both said good job. One of them reached up and shook my hand and didn't turn loose of it and said, man, I wish I'd have thought of that. And that's how I compliment. Them's 2 incredible songwriters right there. And, you know, oddly enough, I tell people this all the time. I grew up liking country music. And, you know, when you think George Strait, you think Amarillo by Morning. And that was never a #1 song. And when you think Mark Chestnut, you think Too Cold at Home. Never a #1 song. And Grace 100 Proof, though it's the most popular and requested song I got, it was never a #1 song.
How about that?
And so I said, you know, that puts me in some pretty good company.
I love this film.
Anyway.
He's my new best friend from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been there all my life.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
So how long have you been going to church?
Oh, I was raised in church. My mama was a preacher. My grandma preached. And I didn't always live right, you know. I had my time sowing my oats and stuff. But one night on a dark road, I'd been to church. I always went to church, even though I wasn't living right. I was on my way home. I was about 20 years old, and maybe 21. and I was driving. It's like God opened the door and got my pickup. And I can't explain what happened on that road, that highway that night. But I give my heart and my life to Jesus, and I never looked back. And you know, I had some success in the worldly musical arena. You know, played with a lot of big names, did a lot of cool stuff. But you know, God that night changed my life and put a beautiful woman in my life. We got married. We've been married 18 years. We got a 7-year-old boy.
Yeah.
We pastored 2 churches, one of which we started and was there 9 years. You know, I kind of thought music had run its course. I thought, you know, I was an old guy. I wasn't ever going to get to play music. You know, because prime, you know, is everything. You got to be in your prime. Got to be in your prime.
Yeah.
And you know, I always tried on my own. I even tried gospel music on my own after I saved. And I have what amounts to a set of bad demos. But Mary Faye Jackson heard one of them, and she said, "I know a guy that'll put that song out the radio." And so she had Randall Wilds call me, and Randall called me, and he said, "Mary Faye says this is a good song." And what I do now versus what I did then is horrible. But it was a good song. And Randall sent it to the radio, and it charted at number 81. 81 was my number. That's the year I was born.
Oh, okay.
I've got an 81 Lincoln Continental, all original. And 81's kind of my number, so it hit there. And I ran that course for a while, and that opened some doors, having a song on chart, different stuff. And then I went and I made this record, and I got with Tommy Smith at Candy Creek Records. And Tommy's been promoting me now, and you know, I always said all my life, I started writing songs when I was 16. I said I'd like to have one #1 song. That's all I ever wanted. And I really didn't even care if I ever recorded it. If somebody else recorded it.
Right.
To me, I like being a songwriter. I'm a songwriter first.
Yeah.
And then I'm a singer.
You're a good
And
singer.
but I like writing, and I said if I could just have one #1. Oddly enough, there's a song on this album called "Turn to Jesus." And when I got ready to release my 3rd song with Tommy, he said, "What do you want to release?" And I said, "Jesus and Soldier." And they said, "No, I don't think so." He said, "There's too many patriotic songs." I said, "What do you think I ought to release then?" He said, "Turn to Jesus." I said, "Man, I don't even play that song on my live set." And he said, "You should, it's a good song." And I said, "Well," we talked about it, and I said, "Man, that's what I pay you big money for." I said, "We'll release it." So he released it. And it started kind of down there at the bottom, just like I figured it would. And I thought, yeah, this ain't gonna get no traction. And then it started moving, and it started moving quick. And once it started moving, and it got inside the top 50, and I told my band, I said, "We might ought to learn this song."
Might start singing this.
I started singing this song. I'd seen it to radio and still wasn't there. And so we learned it. Well, then it jumped from like 49 like into the 30s. I mean, it like way up in the 30s. And so it made a good jump. And then it jumped again, and it was on up there in the teens. It skipped the 20s altogether, I think. Then it jumps up, and it's like number 7. And then it went to number 2. And I said, they don't ever go from number 2 to number 1. That just don't happen. That's not the trend. That's not what happens in the charts. And I was driving down the road, and I got a text message from Randall Wilds. I still get a little bit emotional about it. But I got a text message that said, "Congratulations, your song's went on."
Woo!
And I was like, I couldn't hardly. So I was driving to meet my wife for lunch. And my wife walks in the restaurant, and I'm all red-eyed and crying. And she said, "What's wrong with you?" And I just slid the phone across the table, and she's like, "Yay!" And I'm like, and I'm over here, I'm a ball of emotions, you know. I mean, that's really and truly, it was all I ever, as a songwriter, and God gave me a desire in my heart, you know, and it was awesome, and man, it's opened so many doors for us. Our latest single is off this new album, Rodeo Revival, which is a ministry, really and truly. We travel to rodeos across South Oklahoma, North Texas. I made it my goal when I cut this record to give away 1,000 copies of Rodeo. We exceeded that. Praise the Lord. And the new single is off of it, and it's called "Pray for the Cowboy." And the Pray for the Cowboy song, that can be edited.
Yeah, I know. She got somebody that does that good.
Anyway,
But
the
you're
new single is off this Pray for the Cowboy, or off this Rodeo Revival record, and it's called Pray for the Cowboy. And we weren't sure about it. We said, or it was said, there's not that many people interested in rodeo. And I got bad news. The Cowboy's the last living American hero there is. I walk in places and cowboy hat and little kids look at me and say, there's a cowboy.
Yeah.
And traveling out here, somebody said, I like your hat, and it really is. And so that song, I released it, and I said, I want to release it because that's the kind of people I reach.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people I minister to. And that song's done really, really well, I have to tell you. So we're excited about it. Me and my good friend Kim Keith, she kept that with me. Kim don't have any albums out. She's never cut a record. She's a great praise and worship leader, and I invited her to sing on that song. So anyway, that's kind of my life and my story in a nutshell. I don't like to dwell too much on the bad. I want to give God all the praise and glory for everything that He's done in my life.
And how can these people get a hold of you?
You can reach me at 580-276-8088, or you can find me on Facebook at Bill Baker Music or Bill Baker and Country 316. You can put in the hashtag Grace100Proof with my name and it'll come up. You can also see a video. We were blessed to make a very professional music video for Grace 100 Proof. And you can look that up on YouTube. Just look up Bill Baker.
And you're going to send that to me and I'll
Grace
put it on the
100
show.
Proof. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
God bless you. And you have got, hey, this cowboy, I love this boy. Bill, pay your bill.
That's right, Bill Baker. Yeah, you bet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on there.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, bless you.